So I put a couple pieces on paper too that never made it to my head yet. Oh, there's lost too. That's pretty good. But I'd like to share them with you. Okay. This one's called Early Morning Wake Up. And I really attribute this to the Northwest. I mean, it's a beautiful place. It's amazingly different from where I come from. Where I come from, the land is vast, desert, big mountains. I live on the east side of the Sierras in a town called Bishop, California. And it's right between Yosemite Valley and Death Valley, for those that are not familiar. It's the most rural county, most rural area of the state of California. And if you've seen the movie Iron Man, you've seen Bishop, California, or at least the Owens Valley, our territory. I like to call it Middle Eastern California, because in the movie they said that was Afghanistan, but I knew it was Eastern California, Middle Eastern California. Okay, and I woke up one time, and this came out. So it's called Early Morning Wake Up. It's another early morning wake up. No alarm, no ring. It's just my inner voice calling, begging to sing. It says, I'm still here, so why don't you ever hear me? Beautiful music is what we make clearly. I'll never steer you wrong, exploring the depths of my song. I'm with you always, but strongest at sunrise, dawn. A holy time when spirits arrive. They've come to show you why you're alive. Not fame, not fortune, not these cameras and glitz, but to mend the wound when you and the culture split. Because if it's lost on you, then what about the children when they're seeking direction, pondering the life they've been given? I am all that is, was, and will ever be, here to share the wisdom you'll never read. You knew me well as a small child. As you grew, insecurities piled. Yeah, I live in a space where no time exists, in a place understood through stories and myths. And did I mention songs, sweet songs from the heart? When all else is lost, this is where you start. I come to you in the morning, and I am always here. And if you ever need me, 2 words, just be. It's another early morning wake up. No alarm, no ring. Just my inner voice calling, begging to sing. We did. It's called Iwanga. Iwanga is my language. It means little brother. It seems so close, but yet so distant. You were scheduled to join us here, but then gone in an instant. My perception, aborted mission, but the official description, a stillborn condition. And like that, poof, she birthed the body, but the spirit's missing. And now my mother's crying from the strange pain inflicted. We were 2 years apart, so I had a small head start, but was awaiting the arrival of your evolved smarts. Memories of our visits always consisted of the long drive up the highway, taking a right turn into the forest, down dirt roads like paths to other worlds, where the sunlight turns to shade and the world slows to a frozen whisper, where the squirrels are the rock stars, because silence is the catchiest jingle. From there, we would locate the exact stumps, rocks, and trees that indicated the spot to dig. And we did, 1 foot, 2 feet down to where we rested in an elaborate ceramic jar. An urn, no bigger than my sippy cup. To keep you company, you kept my favorite toy, a plastic rubber figurine of Gumby, in all his green naked glory too. Bendable, and therefore the coolest thing ever to me, next to those hands that stick when you throw them around to anything you reach. To be completely honest, I liked visiting you because you had Gumby. And you never had a problem with that. Because it didn't matter that I was there just to play. He was our toy, and play was our bond. So we played. There in the woods on the masterpiece carpet design of bark, pine needles, cones, and dirt. We played football with the most football-y pine cones. And I ran post routes through 200-foot tall defensive backs. And you couldn't throw, of course, being in that jar and all, but you liked to watch your family play. That's all you needed. Our joy was your joy. As we grew older, our visits diminished. Every few months turned into once a year. Every 2 years turned into 4 years. Eventually climaxing at that spot where we all want to be grown up so bad that we squeeze all the magic out of life like an empty tube of toothpaste, trying to freshen our breaths with that taste of mint we've been conditioned to think makes our mouths clean. I don't know if I could locate that exact spot in the woods that you lie today, but the beautiful thing is that I don't have to. Something drastically rearranged along the way so that the space you occupied in my consciousness traveled from those 2 feet underground between the stumps, rocks, and trees to a presence no longer limited to time and space. Somewhere along the way, you left that forest floor and took infinite residence in my heart to travel with me. You became a part of who I am, more than my face is a part of my identity. Your influence transformed from that of little brother to ancestor, like a raindrop that reflects the entire universe. Keeping sure to remind me to play, and remember that it's all just a game of catching a forest of defensive backs that only seem big and scary until you love them like squirrels love to stage dive. This is for my brother, my protection, Iwanga. That's for one little brother. And we also have other little brothers that we need to speak to. And this is towards that. It's called Wounded Son. He stays in his room all day, only leaves to shit and eat. Then back to the poker game on the PC. Addicted to the shuffle, dude is living in a bubble. Rarely shows love to his family even when they're in trouble. Can't see past the reality created in his mind. Sleeps half the day, stays up all night. The only schedule he follows is the TiVo and the cable. Afraid to change his ways because it seems so stable. Labeled as a misfit by his teachers as a kid because he called them on the shit. Hyper-attentive was his gift. He possessed an inner fire mostly expressed through anger. Often mad at his parents who won't associate with strangers. Lost all confidence in his wits by barely passing high school. Now held hostage by his past and paralyzed potential. No longer feels the possibilities of his future. His motivation is a gaping wound in severe need of sutures. Can you believe this is what became of this native son? Feels his life is over and he just turned 21.